Jerry Jones, shut up.
Yeah, nice.
Jerry Jones, shut the hell up.
Correct.
Shut the hell up. You needed a running back this year. You can't afford to do that. The Baltimore Ravens signed Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson's making $50 million a year. How did they do that? Saquon Barkley, he went to the Eagles, your rival. You're going to play him twice. Jalen Hurts is making $50 million a year. How'd they do that? You lie about the salary cap every single year. It's not true. You don't know how to put together a roster.
You go, boy.
Whoa. Hey, this a vibe, nigga. Whoa. Woo. Secure the bag, I need more. Hey, 3P, Jordan. Whoa. Woo. I can't keep it on a low. This a whole vibe. I don't need a plug, no cosign. Thinking out loud, that's a gold mine. Mask on, yeah, COVID-19. Baby mama, yeah, looking like Rihanna. Rest in peace to George, rest in peace Brianna. Still kicking like Van Damme with my niggas in Amsterdam.
The band is back together. Sports talk. You see this face? You see that face? Jason Enrique is here. Episode 55 of the U-Goboy podcast. Sports talk coming at you. Yahtzee. Yo, Steve, give me some drops. Give me just a couple. Just give me 10 Dom DeMarcos. Give me 10 just keep those going. Oh yeah. And can I get a band? Give me a Kevin Nash. Give me Kevin Nash. The band is back together. They know it is.
The band is back together.
Oh yeah. It's your boy. You go, boy. Woo! Sports
boy.
talk. You see the logo. You see this face. You see that face. That's Mongo. Jason Enrique will be here at some point.
Woo.
The gift of CapCut. The gift of post editing. Yeah. So this is sports talk. Mongo, how you doing, buddy?
Half of my sports world is doing great. Actually, New York Liberty, a lot of good things to like. 99% good, 1% Jets. That's where I'm at today.
I love it.
Be ready.
I love it. And a big round of applause. Thank you to all subscribers for following and subscribing on all the channels. Give me 2 Ric Flairs for that. Give me 2 Ric Flairs for that. Oh yeah. Love you, Rick. So round of applause for the New York Liberty, WNBA champions. The first WNBA franchise were the Liberty. A lot of people don't know that. Houston Comets were winning championships. They're not around anymore. But the Liberty are. Congrats to the Liberty. Congrats to Danash, too. I did under review podcast, I think yesterday, a couple days ago. And that is available wherever you get your podcast. She works for Liberty. So,
nice.
She's enjoying the fruits of her labor. Congrats to the New York Yankees.
Let's go.
Get that Let's Go Yankees. Get it going. Get it going. I'll tell you when to stop playing it. I'm wearing the shirt. I'm wearing the Juan Soto shuffle. Yeah, there we go. Have this out for this segment. Get the shuffle. Get the shuffle. Woo! Yes. Give me 3 Ric Flairs. 3 Ric Flairs. 3 Ric Flairs and 3 Yahtzees. Yes.
Yahtzee.
Woo! The Yankees are in the World Series. They defeated the Guardians or Indians, whatever you want to call them. Shout out to Joe Benengo. They defeated the Guardians in 5 in a dramatic, wild series. That was one of the wildest 5-game series I've ever seen. Always felt like we were going to win it. Mm-hmm. For them to win it in such dramatic fashion, a round of applause. We're going to keep that applause button going. Juan Soto. I'm wearing a shirt. It says Soto on the back. It's under the hoodie. Juan Soto. Another round of applause for our captain, Aaron Judge. Another round of applause for Garrett Cole. Another round of applause for Alex Verdugo, timely hits. Another round of applause for Gleyber Torres. Another round of applause for Carlos Rodon. Another round of applause for Luke Weaver. He gets another. If I have said it, I'll say it again. For Tim Hill. Tim Hill. Hal Steinbrenner, Brian Cashman. Listen, we thought they'd be a fringe wildcard team coming in. That's what I thought. I thought the Orioles were a lot better than they turned out to be. This roster is deep. They've absorbed injury. They've absorbed slumps.
Pipe bomb.
And we're here. We're 4 games away from our first championship since 2009. We're in our first World Series since 2009. Mongo, what has been the most satisfying part about this journey the Yankees have been on to finally be on the precipice of a championship?
You know, it's funny. You missed somebody there, and you missed probably the most important guy the last 2-3 weeks. Applause for Giancarlo Stanton, everybody.
Yeah. Giancarlo. 5 Dom DeMarcos, too. 5 of them. Playoff Stanton.
That's your most satisfying part.
Facts.
When he hit his first home run of the postseason, I think that might have been against the Royals.
Yep.
I sent you the meme of Serrano in Major League when he says, "F you, Jabu, I'll do it myself." You got that kind of I'm tired of all of this vibe.
Ric Flairs, 2 of them. Give me some Ric Flairs.
And it keeps going and going, and you're like, it's magic.
Yeah.
You know what? The most satisfying part of this is that 1 foot is in reality, 1 foot is in crazy dreamland. I mean, if you told me we'd be here, I could have believed that for sure. If you told me we were going to be here, mainly on the back of Giancarlo Stanton and Tim Hill, no, you're not believing. I'm not. Who's believing that? I still have to every now and then Google that Tim Hill's still on the team. I mean, but here we are, and it's crazy to think that. But on the other hand, for years, it's been the bullpen, right? We've had the bullpen. You look back at the 90s, that was always our secret weapon. And you watched us absolutely demolish Kansas City's bullpen. And you watched the Cy Young candidate Guardian bullpen, falter. And we're still here. And it wasn't pretty this year. But give Cashman his laurels on that one. He knew. The same way Penn State makes linebackers, right? The same way USC makes wide receivers. The Yankees make bullpens. They just do. They always have. And Cashman, for all the nonsense he gets in this city, he trusted his gut on this. And it's a who's who, right? Luke Weaver came off the trash heap. Tim Hill, who, again, I'll just keep saying it over and over again.
Mark Leiter comes out of nowhere.
Not only was Mark Leiter, when we had this show, during the deadline, Mark Leiter, not only was he a very underwhelming deadline acquisition, his home runs, numbers this season relative to his career averages were way under. He was due for major regression, and he had it in August, right? He gave up a ton of jacks, but they still trusted him. They still said, we see something that he'll still end up above average, and, bravo to them. So, I mean, the most satisfying part is that they stuck to their guns, and that it's had both a logical conclusion, and it's also been a dream world. And that how can you not enjoy this show? I mean, I know everyone you're either a Yankee fan or you hate the Yankees, right? There's got to be a few people out there who are going, oh, this is actually probably one of the more pleasant iterations of this, otherwise evil empire.
Subscribe to the channel. Mark Leiter wasn't even on the playoff roster. Ian Hamilton doesn't strain his calf. He's not even pitching. His first day on, he's nearly saving the day and then eventually saving the day. Luke Weaver, one more round of applause for Luke Weaver. This guy comes out of nowhere. He's been on 6 different teams. He was a failed starter. I think he was 1-6 or 1-9 at one point. The worst ERA in baseball. Former Royal.
Natural. They're all either Royals or Mariners, right? They all come from somewhere.
Gets DFA'd a billion times, and now he's the most dominant closer in the tournament left.
I mean, relative to the fact, because the Dodgers don't actually have names on anybody, right?
No, they don't.
Just you pitch when your number's up, and that's all there is to it.
Oh yeah, we got Jason Enrique in the building.
Whoa,
Jason Enrique.
Hey,
hey, Papa Squat, my guy.
Well, how we doing?
The beautiful post editing. I'll get you in here. We got Jason Enrique from First Class Second Place podcast. Gotta pull the mic too. Right here on episode 55 of the U-Goboy podcast, live from Bravery Studios.
My apologies for being late, y'all.
All good. Stuck in Jersey traffic.
Oh my God, you're telling me.
This is the reason why I left my house 4-ish. This is a 6 p.m. taping. So,
well, I came all the way from Bayonne. If you know where that is, then that's all you need to know.
all is forgiven, bro. All is forgiven. We're talking about the Yanks. We're going to kick off with the Yanks before we get to football agita. That is the Yankees. Excuse me, that is the Cowboys and the Jets.
Lord knows I have plenty of that.
Oh yeah. Don't worry. The pipe bomb on the way. The question that we were just wrapping up real quick. What has been the most satisfying part of this Yankee run that has them 4 games away from their first championship since 2009?
Oh, I mean, our batters stepped up. I mean, like especially Stan. You know, we were just waiting for that moment for Stan to come through. Playoff Stan, because that's the clutch right there.
Playoff Stan.
But you know, just basically all of the injuries. Actually, we didn't have that many injuries coming in the season that we usually have throughout the regular season. And also, like, I was also kind of worried about Judge, because he was doing pretty well, but like, you know, we're looking for playoff Judge also, and then he finally got that first hit, and also the usual with Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone. I mean, are they going to actually deliver, or is this going to be another case of, all right, I already seen this movie again plenty of times? Oh yeah,
I mean, for me, I think that it's funny. There's only 2 players that have 4 home runs in a single postseason ever. It's Giancarlo Stanton and Reggie Jackson. And there's only one guy who has 5 in a postseason. It's Giancarlo Stanton.
Yep.
Like, he is one of the all-time, not one of, he's the best all-time postseason home run hitter. He's not number 1. I think that's Manny Ramirez. But steroids aside, what I'm saying is Stanton is the best pure home run masher in history of the postseason.
I would have to agree with that.
I think it's him and Judge. I think they both of them surpassed Babe Ruth this postseason. So it's like I expected playoff Stanton to show up again, because he even in the COVID year, he was raking against the Rays. We just didn't have anybody. You know what I mean, outside of him. And again, we talked about this earlier in the season when we did ironically enough, a Yankees Dodgers preview episode. The Yankees for the longest have been right-hand dominated strikeout machines.
Correct.
That is the biggest reason why this title drought has gone on, aside from the Astros cheating. You know, aside from that. Yeah. You know, but you insert Soto, Chaz Chisholm, Austin Wells, Verdugo, all 4 lefties, change the entire outlook of the batting order of the lineup. Now, you figure the Yankees, we've steamrolled to this point. Judge hasn't even really been hitting.
Right.
Judge hasn't been hitting. He has what, 3 home runs in the postseason total?
Something like that.
That's it. You know what I mean? He's been our 4th best hitter during this run. And if there's any time for him to get hot out of nowhere, why not the Fall Classic?
Yeah, and another thing that got me nervous, especially going on with the season, because it was like a sieve through the regular season, was Clay Holmes.
Yeah.
I mean, all those giving up runs at the worst possible time.
PhD in blown saves.
Yes.
That's what I've called him. PhD.
Yes, PhD in blown saves.
Dr. Blown saves.
And, you know, knock on wood that it's not going to happen in the playoffs or in the World Series, I should say. But, yeah, that was something that was really, really concerning to me going. And also seeing Glaber finally wake up. And Volpe's actually been, you know, solid.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Subscribe to the channel. Mongo, I'll tee this up, because for the up until the halfway point, we're going to go all Yankees. Mongo, talk about the starting pitching. That, to me, that was the difference in the Guardians series. Of course, the Yankees had a better roster. They had a better team. They were supposed to win. But the plan for the Guardians was to just lean on their bullpen. The same bullpen that was taxed the series before when the Tigers pushed them to the limit to 5 games. They didn't have enough starting pitching to hang with us. Yankees, we had the starting pitching. I think that was the biggest difference. And on top of that, our hitters got to their bullpen. What comparisons can you make with how the Dodgers are going to attack the Yankees with their bullpen and their starting pitching, with how the Guardians attacked the Yankees with their starting pitching and their bullpen?
So I think I'm going to add a little element. I'm going to add the Royals into this too, because we're going to see a nice stark contrast here. You know, the Royals and the Guardians love to be on the move. They love trying to take that extra base. You know, Stephen Kwan's on base 900% of the time. I mean, they love to get base runners on. They love to move. You know, and the Dodgers, you know, I'm going to bring the stat up later when we're making our predictions, but 3rd in the league this year in runners in scoring position. You know, if they are on, I mean, you saw Ohtani, again, batting something like 600 with runners in scoring position for halfway through the playoffs. Rodon having a K per 9 somewhere around 13 and a K to walk ratio of 22-1 is insurmountable. I mean, that is the difference. These are teams that function better with guys on base, right? The Yankees can beat you with one swing at any given point. The other teams can't do that. So if the bases are staying empty, that's fantastic. And I mean, we talked about it right before Jay got here. You know, the Yankee bullpen, despite it not looking like the one that would be left standing, has been the difference maker. Ours has held for the most part. I mean, Clay Holmes basically got him through Kansas City. I mean, he was the secret MVP there. You know, and there's having. So all you're looking for right now is, can our starters shoot par against theirs, which they have and then some for the most part. And so I think what we're getting for what we need to, you know, what's in front of us. You know, if this was the Astros, you know, where 9 guys with a little help from a trash can can put the ball in the seats, that'd be trouble.
I was waiting for it.
But you know, for teams that are very methodical in the Guardians, the Royals, and the Dodgers, you know, our straight firepower starting pitching is you know exactly what we need.
Like the video. A big X factor too is this guy right here.
Hey.
Juan Soto.
In the words of Chaz Chisholm, pay the man.
Pay the man. Pay him his money.
Blank check.
Blank check, yes.
Blank check. The way he was stalking Gaddis on the mound, I was listening to the audio of the commentators, of Brian Anderson and Ron Darling and Jeff Francoeur. He's like, he's just stalking him, and you can and I think John Boy did a breakdown too of just reading his lips. He's like, I'm all over him. He ain't got nothing. Soto forced him to throw the fastball, and he threw it, and then he hit it and punched the ticket to the Yankees World Championship appearance. That type of energy that he's infused into this lineup, he's infused into this organization. Yes, he has earned a blank check. Him and Judge, the two of them, who's going to be more important to the Yankees winning this series? Is it going to be this guy? Is it going to be our captain?
Ooh. So I'll tell you, the answer is ultimately going to be Soto here, but I'll talk you through it. I need to start with this anecdote, though, real quick. So, you know, for New Roads Media, like, share, subscribe. Shameless plug. You know, our baseball guy is, he's 21 years old. He's a beast, John. Love him to death, but he's younger than us. And so I asked him on our show this week, I said that image of him just stopping on the first baseline and just looking into his dugout, like, we did it. I got you guys. Let's go. I asked him, picture-wise, picture moment in time, where does that rank, all time in your memories? And he wouldn't say number one, but I challenged him. I said, where can you go better than that? And he genuinely could not think of one. And honestly, in our lifetime, that's top 3, top 5.
Top 3.
You know, it's Jordan hitting the fadeaway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up there with some of the greatest images. And so, you know, when you look at, again, against the Dodgers here, well, they have their MVP.
Oh, yeah.
We have our MVP, right? So in that sense, Judge has a huge role, right? Because he basically, whether or not he'll admit it, everyone's thinking best MVP wins.
Yeah.
But they have a really, really, really good 5-tool, like in the truest sense of the word, player batting, adjacent to Ohtani there and Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We have ours too, right?
Yes.
So, Soto pairs up with Betts. So in that sense, it's 1-1. But then, when you look at the pitching matchups, a big factor here, to me, one of the biggest questions is who on the Dodgers do I trust in Yankee Stadium? And the answer is not a whole lot of them. But Walker Buehler's going to try, right? He's the guy who always comes in and is yapping and has the chip on his shoulder and tries to be the high energy guy. I dare you to high energy that. He was about to melt Aaron Boone's face off with that stare down.
Savage.
And that was his own teammate. You want to see if you can out hype Juan Soto right now?
Not
you
possible.
Definitely can't. So the fact that Soto's going to basically go, toe to toe with their best, if not second best player, and then also bring more energy than their entire team, he's got to be the more valuable guy right now.
Oh, yeah. Subscribe to the channel. Jay, I'll tee this up for you. I'll even answer it myself when you're done. The Yankee starters. King Cole. This is lifelong Yankee fan. This is why we brought him to New York. Carlos Rodon.
Right. This
is why we brought him to New York.
Right.
And of course, games 3 and 4, Clark Schmidt and Luis Gil, our favorite pitcher.
My boy.
The starting pitching for the Yankees. What do you need to see for us to win this series from our two top guys, obviously Cole and Rodon, and then the other two?
I mean, I need Cole to play like the highest paid pitcher in baseball, and I need him to play like Brian Cashman and everybody else expect. I mean, us being Yankee fans, we have these high expectations, and he should know because he grew up a Yankee fan. You know, we saw the sign when he was a little kid with a picture and so on and so forth. So he knows what to expect from this franchise and what needs to happen. And I think during the playoffs, especially, he's been locked in. I mean, we've seen a couple of games where like he was just like really fiery and he was like really on top of his game and so on and so forth. I need him, in the words of you, keep that same energy.
Give me 10 of those. I know it's back there, Steve. Hit the button, damn it.
Keep that same energy.
Hell
Same
yeah.
energy.
Jason got me ready to pitch now. You can doubt DeMarco.
Aaron Boone, watch out. I'm gunning for your job.
Yeah, facts.
I got a question if I could.
Go for it.
So obviously, you know, with on the show and also on Yobi TV Sports, which you guys can follow still on YouTube,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. We've been very critical of Aaron Boone because he just comes off as that guy that he's just always going to stick up for his players and not hold them accountable, this, that, and the third, and some of his questionable roster moves. Now they're in the World Series. We're here. It's time to win. We're 4 games away from being champions. If the Yankees do not get it done, scratch that. If they actually get it done, is all forgiven with Aaron Boone, or does he need to show you more?
Yes. If they win the chip, if they beat the Dodgers, there's only 2 teams that could beat the Dodgers, and the Dodgers beat one of them. That's the Padres. Padres took them to 5. The Yankees are the other team. In this entire tournament, there's only 2 of them that could actually beat this team, even with Glasnow being hurt and Ohtani still, believe it or not, rehabbing while he's doing all this. They win it. They win it all. Absolutely. I will take back everything I said about him on our show, on other shows that I've been a guest on.
Right.
I'll take it all back because what you've shown me is that you understand what's necessary. You can't manage the same way in the postseason that you manage in the regular season.
Yeah.
He's been a big part of the problem of why this drought has gone on. He's been a part of the problem. He hasn't been a part of the solution.
Yeah, it's been a long time since Savage is in the box.
Exactly.
Savage.
So the way you put together your lineups, the way you put together your rotations, the way you've managed the bullpens during this drought, the big reason why the Yankees haven't gotten it done. What he's done thus far, and you can disagree with me, Mongo. I'm teed up right to you for your rebuttal. What he's done so far, I've got no issues with what he's done thus far in the Royal Series, in the Guardian Series, the way he's made slight adjustments here or there to the batting order, to how he's gone for a real true old school manager feel like for matchups out of the bullpen. I've liked it because they've all worked. You know what I mean? So it all is forgiven, at least for me, if you give me 4 more wins and I'm draped in Yankee World Championship year in a couple weeks from now.
Right, and I'll just add to this that yes, for Aaron Boone, all will be forgiven, but for Brian Cashman, I need to see a little bit more because it was the one he said it on air and put it on the record. We're about championships, not championship. All right, so here's the opportunity to get that first one, but you need to have multiple. You need to back up your words. So Aaron Boone, he'll get forgiven if we win the whole thing. But Brian Cashman, I need to see a little bit more, especially giving the blank check to Soto.
No, Cashman's different. You got to win it and you got to re-sign Soto. I'm holding you to a different standard.
Right.
You're making more money
because we got a crosstown rival that actually has a bigger wallet, if you can believe it or not, apparently, than anybody else in baseball.
Yeah.
You know that Soto wants to get his bag.
Absolutely. Like the video. Oh yeah, give me one more of those. Oh yeah. Mongo, take it on home. We'll do predictions and then we'll jump to football.
So, will he be forgiven is, I think, the immediate question here. And the answer is yes, because that's how New York works, right?
Yes.
He could be anybody and he'll be forgiven, right? Will I forgive him? Ultimately, yes, because again, I'm also a New York schmuck who will have way too many beers lined up watching Game 1 on Friday. I'm the same way.
Up there. Load them up and give me a Yahtzee.
Yahtzee. Now, but should he be forgiven, to me, is a different question. And I think back to that Royal game where they had Cole come in to pitch to one more batter, knowing full well he was out after that no matter what. He was already kind of throwing junk. He ends up walking a guy. It puts Tim Hill in a position where he has to face Garrett Hampson, who has owned him over in the NL West. Even if you bring in Tim Hill and just have him hit the first batter in the butt. At least now you can you still get the same batters you want a Tim Hill 2 face,
right.
and then you can get him out of there, right?
True.
They only even got one of those games because of one of the worst replay calls, on one of the worst slides by Jazz Chisholm in history, right? His leg went behind him, and he was somehow safe.
We were texting during that.
I mean, that was, and then meanwhile, we'll see what the Dodgers do. It looks like, by all accounts, I don't know if they've officially announced this, but it looks like Yamamoto's going to go game 2 here.
Yeah, I think that's all but official.
And then the idea would be, you get Buehler, who has the best chance of having some New York energy in New York. And it feels like Dave Roberts, who I think is the way better manager. I think that's actually the best advantage they have here.
He's the one that actually has a ring.
He's got a ring.
He's playing.
COVID year or not, still a ring.
Yeah.
He's playing the matchup game. To me, he's playing this defensively, which is weird because statistically they're the favorite. They're the favorite in Vegas. But, all right, they're putting out, there's no, right, Cole going 1 is a no-brainer,
Yeah,
right?
it's a given.
And going Flaherty 1, I kind of question that move. I'd be inclined to put Yamamoto 1. We don't know. For all we know, he's going to hit the World Series, and we don't know what he is. We definitely don't know what he's going to do in Yankee Stadium, and I know they're keeping him out of there. They're putting him in 2, but you also don't want to put the pressure on him. Let's say Cole and Flaherty have an absolute aces duel, and they win that 1-0. Now you have Yamamoto in a position where he must win in the World Series.
Yeah.
So I think he's trying to play against the the matchups. I don't think he's doing it well. And I honestly think if the Yankees win this thing, you're going to look more at Dave Roberts' mistakes in the way he approached it. All Aaron Boone had to do was basically just, play his hand and let Dave Roberts match up against it poorly. So, I will certainly forgive him again because that's how we roll in New York. But I do think ultimately, when the next time we're together, if the Yankees are victorious, we'll be looking more at, the faults of the Dodgers, than necessarily the successes of the Yankees.
And, I got to say, I already hate this narrative that the media is kind of probably portray if the Yankees do win. Instead of focusing on how great the Yankees played and pulled it off, they're probably going to focus on what is it that the Dodgers didn't do right. Because it seems like that's how the media is portrayed, like to portray things.
Yeah.
They like to spin it. I would not be surprised if we're watching all those debate shows that we always talk about how trash they are and everything.
Clown shows.
Exactly. Dak Prescott's favorite shows and everything like
Yeah.
that. But I would not be surprised if they try to spin it like, why didn't the Dodgers get it done? Like, why did they do this? Why did they make so much errors instead of actually focusing on the actual champions if that were to be the New York Yankees?
I could care less because I'll be draped in Yankee gear. They win the chip, I'm buying the hat, the beanie, the hoodie, the sweater vest, the cardigan, the starter jacket from the 90s. I'm buying it all. The turtleneck.
Yeah, I'll even buy Aaron Boone jersey from the 2003 home run.
There's only 2, speaking of which, nice segue, there's only 2 go-ahead postseason home runs in the history of Yankee postseason baseball, and it's Aaron Boone and Juan Soto.
Look at that. Look at that.
Don DeMarcos, baby.
Look at that.
You cannot beat that.
So does that mean that Juan Soto is going to be the future manager of the Yankees in 2032 or something like that?
He can do whatever he wants. Listen, there are 2 options. You either give him a blank check or you petition to the government to make up a new form of currency to pay. There's only 2 options.
Savages.
So if he wants it, he's got it.
I love it. Do we got a yesterday's price? I know it's still in there. Yesterday's price.
It's there. It's definitely there.
It's still there. If it's not, I'll throw it in post.
But real quick before we do our previews, you do have to, kind of to what you were alluding to, but from, the perspective of the fan, as Yankee fans, we always hear Met fans say, oh, you guys got it so easy, But here's a case where being a Yankee fan, it kind of bites because if this wasn't the Yankees, if this was any other team who had this talent and was making this run on the back of Stanton, on the back of Tim Hill, is looking to Nestor Cortez to be the hero we need but don't necessarily deserve, to come back. Like, this is a really feel-good story. There it is. This is a really feel-good story team. And if it was any other team than the Yankees, they'd be the little national, they'd be the little engine that could. They'd be the national treasure of baseball now.
It's the gift,
but they're still the bad guys.
It's the gift and curse.
Be the Guardians.
Oh God, what a disaster! No, it's the gift and curse of being a big market team.
Yeah.
It's the same reason why if and when the day does come when the Jets do win the Super Bowl, I guarantee there's a bunch of debate shows lined up out the wazoo. Well, it's New York. And they spend big money, and they got stars, so it's about time, yada, yada, yada. And if the Cowboys win, they'll be like, well, of course they won. I mean, they look at the $1 billion play plan they play in, and look at they're in all the national games, and blah, blah, blah.
Flags went in their favor.
Like, come on, there's always going to be something attached with, it's first world problems, bro. It's first world problems. I could care less. We haven't been in this World Series in 15 years. I was still in college. watching the game when they won. So miss me with all that. I could care less about the narrative. I'm happy that they finally got there. It's been a long road. It's been a minute, and they've won it. Yes, Stanton is one of their big money guys that came through, but a lot of role guys that weren't there, that they absolutely needed in key situations, they were not on this roster. They did not have left-handed hitting for the entire, what do we say? Right-hand dominated strikeout machines. We said it before, we'll say it again. They did not have competent left-handed hitting for years. We were begging for it, and they gave it to us.
Tell you when you're telling lies.
Tell me when I'm telling lies. Tell me.
I promise I'm not. There's just 2 more words.
Go for it.
Alex Verdugo.
We said it. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
I'm doing the Kevin James meme.
Exactly.
Told you to wait.
Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Okay, guys, let's go picks, and then we're gonna transition to football. I'll go first. Real simple. Yankees in 6. I said it was Yankees in 6 in 2009, and I was living in Pennsylvania at the time in Penn State, and a bunch of Phillies fans were like, "Nah," and I'm just like, "Yeah." And Yankees in 6. So I said what I said. I stand by that. Yankees in 6.
I second that notion. Yankees in 6.
Dating back to 1977, we've had Dodgers Yankees 3 times. It's ended in 6. 3 times, and rest in peace, Fernando Valenzuela. By the way,
rest in peace.
That's very
go right there.
Coincidental there. But the Yankees just everything. I think the Mets were a tougher matchup. I think the Dodgers are a better team. But I think the Mets were a better matchup.
I do too.
Dodgers second in the league in walks. Guess what? Yankees are first. Dodgers 12th most strikeouts this season. Yankees 11th. They're just slightly better at everything, and then they match up talent wise. I'm with you guys. Yankees in 6.
Right, and I believe that we all believe in the power of manifestation. Right.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure that we can manifest that the Dodgers already feel like this is what they're supposed to do. They're stocked up. They got all stars and everything. Now they're supposed to make it to the World Series, and they did. So maybe that little that cockiness, that egotism is in the back of their head, and hopefully it eats them alive.
I'll take it.
Yeah, whatever works.
Give me one more. Let's go Yankees. One more. Let's go Yankees. Soto, World Series MVP. I'm already calling it. It is what it is. I said what I said.
Ready.
Yeah, the Aki way. The Aki way. All right. So we're gonna Steve. It's clobbering time. Give me the pipe bombs. 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 Keep hitting the button, Steve. Break it. Smash. Stand on it. Step on it. Hit it with a freaking Triple H knee. I could care less. This pipe bomb is brought to you by First Class Second Place Podcast. Get that wherever you get your podcasts. Rhodes Media.
New Roads
Media. Available on all digital platforms wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, Bravery Studios, the home base. I know you guys got a lot to say about the Jets, so I'm going to get the Cowboy stuff out the way first.
Most of it's not allowed on the radio, so it's going to be short. Don't worry.
We're on YouTube.
You're good.
And the beauty of CapCut, I can mute. There's my camera. Jerry Jones, shut up.
Yeah, nice.
Jerry Jones, shut the hell up.
Correct.
Shut the hell up.
Savage.
What the hell do you know about football schemes, play design, play calling? You're not a football guy.
Drafting.
With drafting, Will McClay does that.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Thank you, SpongeBob. The only reason, no offense to you guys, no offense whatsoever, the only reason why the Cowboys and the Jets aren't doing the Spider-Man meme is because of Will McClay. Is because they lucked into Tony Romo and Dak Prescott to give them a minimum of the 8 wins necessary to be a mid-team at best. You are not the reason why the Dallas Cowboys even had a dynasty. It was Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson gave us our dynasty. You hired Jimmy Johnson and fired him, and you're not a football guy. One of the main reasons why Jimmy wanted you to fire him is because you tried to convince his coaching staff and everybody who followed the Cowboys that you were a football guy.
Pipe bomb.
You won a Super Bowl without Jimmy Johnson, but you won with his entire staff the very next year. And you want proof that you're not a football guy? 2 years later, only 2 years later, after he left, you missed the playoffs.
Yowie, wowie.
With the triplets. Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman, and Deion Sanders, they were still on the roster, and you missed the playoffs. You're not a football guy. You brought in Bill Parcells to save your franchise after you ran it into the ground with 3 straight 5-11 seasons? Oh yeah, one more of those. And then you hired Bill Parcells, who actually turned things around, but as soon as he retired, right on brand, you hired Wade Phillips. Then you hired Jason Garrett. Then you hired Mike McCarthy. Back to square one. You're not a football guy. You're Joker. You're Fleck. Whatever. You are the biggest bozo in professional sports. And the national media, they love to eat it up. They love to eat it up. You and your doofus son, you guys consider each and every season, what do? You don't sign anyone. You don't trade for anyone. You just rely on that draft with Will McClay. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine with that draft. We're fine with that draft. You needed a running back this year. You can't afford to do that. The Baltimore Ravens signed Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson's making $50 million a year. How did they do that? Saquon Barkley, he went to the Eagles, your rival. You're going to play him twice. Jalen Hurts is making $50 million a year. How'd they do that? You lie about the salary cap every single year. It's not true. You don't know how to put together a roster. And then you finally get a coach in Mike McCarthy who gives you 3 straight 12-win seasons. You made up your mind that you want to fire him. But you want to fire him your way. You want to let his contract run out just like you did with Jason Garrett in 2019. You don't want to make any trades. You don't want to help him. You've made up your mind. We're not going to help you. Figure it out. Give us 12 wins again. Oh, you can't? We'll go bring in another coach.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
You are not a football guy. You never have been. You never will be. And when Dallas finishes about 8-9, 9-8 maybe, because of your quarterback, not because of you, you'll remember that you caused this.
What a disaster.
This pipe bomb was brought to you by the U-Goboy podcast. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Bravo.
Yeah, nice knowing you.
You guys cap that off, and then we'll switch to the Jets real quick.
You're right, man.
I mean, Jerry Jones, shut up. I don't like you. Never have. Never will. I'm out.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Mongo.
Yeah, I would just say, I would add to that, forget the money for a minute. How many times did you guys pass on Braylon Allen in the draft? I mean, how many times? And the thing is, Rico Dowdle, let's say he was good. Just to use a word, good. Your old man there is too proud. There was not a chance they weren't going to draft a running back high and replace him anyway. They're not rolling on the back of an undrafted running back. That's not how they operate. So what was the point of this year? What is the exercise? I ask my students that all the time. What is the point? As a Cowboy fan, at least, as a Jet fan, there was a point to this year. Are we fully aware that the end of that plan was to go 0-17 in 2025? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But we at least had a journey to get there. There is no point to this season. And as a Cowboy fan, that's what I'd be most pissed about. What are you paying money for? What are you wasting 3 hours a Sunday for? Why are we doing this? There is no answer to that question.
Not just that, but you go on this tyrannical rant over against the local radio. No one asked you to be there. No owner's doing that. No one does radio spots as an owner except you. So you're mad that they're not football guys because you claim to be a football guy. Jerry Jones is as much of a football guy as I am a Rockette. It's like me walking into a Rockette practice before the Christmas special, like, all right, girls, I got this. You guys can take the night off. I got this year. I'll dance in front of the tree or whatnot. You're not a football guy. And your son isn't a football guy either. I'm not letting him off the hook either. The only reason why they are not the Browns right now or the Jaguars right now is because they draft so well. But you can do both. Every team does both. Every team does free agency and trades. Every team does it, except the Cowboys. Therein lies the problem. And I don't care. I don't give a damn who they bring in. I don't care if they bring in Bill or Mike Vrabel or they rehire Jason Garrett or Wade Phillips or Ron Rivera or Rex Ryan. I don't give a damn who they bring in. If the next coach can't get through his thick skull that, we got to use both to build the roster, because what free agency does is it allows your draft picks to develop and be competent and to compete. That's what the Lions are doing. That's what the Chiefs are still doing. The Chiefs traded for DeAndre Hopkins today. They're in the midst of a dynasty, and they're still making impact trades. You haven't been to an NFC Championship game in damn near 3 decades, and we like our guys. We like our guys. You suck. This is brought to you by First Class Second Place Podcast, New Roads Media, and Bravery Studios. Damn it. All right, so that was my pipe bomb, fellas. The Jets.
Pipe bomb.
What did it disaster?
You can make the stadium as green as you want
it to be.
It's still Giant Stadium. Oh my God! And like Joe Benigno says, they could change the uniforms, they could change the stadium, change the coach, change the GM, change the players, change the quarterback. The results never change.
Was firing Saleh the right decision for both of you guys?
Yes and no. And what I mean by that is, yes, listen, it pains me to say because I do like Robert Saleh.
Yeah, you've mentioned that.
I was a huge supporter of his. I was like Skip Bayless is to Jerry Jones with Robert Saleh, you know? But I ultimately, in hindsight 2020, it feels like if you were going to get rid of him, you should have got rid of him last year because as much as he's a great defensive mind, some people are just not cut out for head coaching.
Yeah.
Perfect example is Todd Bowles, another former Jet head coach.
Wade Phillips.
Yeah, Wade Phillips.
He's in the UFL.
Yeah. Vance Joseph.
Great DC.
Yeah, great DC.
Great DC.
Terrible head coach.
Terrible.
Yeah. So I feel like if you were going to get rid of him, you should have got rid of him last year and basically had the opportunity to get a Mike Vrabel or maybe snatch Ben Johnson away from the Detroit Lions or something like that. I don't know. Just something. It's just that everything that's coming up right now, it seems like Robert Saleh was in a lose-lose situation.
Facts.
And it just feels like he was set up to fail. And listen, your record is what it is, 20-37. That's not a good head coaching record. So obviously you deserve to get fired. And it's just really uncharacteristic for Woody to actually do this, even though a lot of people give him props for doing it now. I said if you were going to get rid of him, you should have got rid of him last year. But the thing is, Woody Johnson historically has never fired a head coach in season.
Did this year.
Until now. And now he's putting a stamp on the entire team. And I think he's even going above Joe Douglas's head, which is fine. You know, you have that right because you do own the team. But he's Woody Johnson right now is the reason why Hassan Reddick is back in Jet uniform right now, why he's at practice. He's the reason why Robert Saleh is not here. He's the reason why Devontae Adams is now a Jet and everything. So he's going over Joe Douglas's head. This is Joe Douglas's final year as a head coach. He's not coming back.
As a GM?
As a GM. Yeah. I don't know where he's going to go, but he's not going to be. Right now, they're in a new, at the end of the season, whether they make the playoffs or not, one thing is for sure is that they're going to be looking for a new GM and a new head coach. I don't know who they're going to be. I don't know if they're just going to be the right ones. And I'm just even having doubts if Aaron Rodgers is even having buyer's remorse coming here to New York. Maybe he should have stayed in the darkness retreat after all.
Why would you play games with
Give me two more of those Roman Reigns.
Why would you play games?
Give me a tell me when I'm telling lies real quick, because I remember on, I believe, the last recording of YOBTV Sports, we said that Robert Saleh would not make it. We said that he'd be gone. We're halfway home because Mike is coming too. He'll be on an NBC set near you, or Fox, or CBS.
By the way, did you hear that Robert Saleh was at Green Bay practice today?
That doesn't shock me. I know TMZ chased him down when he was leaving Costco or something.
Yeah. and also there was reports. I don't know how true this is, but those reports that he was actually escorted out by security when they actually gave Adam Gase the opportunity to say goodbye to all of his coaches and players. What the hell are we doing over here?
That lets me know it was a little bit personal between him and Woody. Mongo, we talked about it in a pre-production meeting, but on camera, was it the right move?
So I'm going to touch more on this in my little pipe bomb segment in a minute.
Go for it.
It's not it wasn't the right time, and I think that alone makes this a very dubious yes. If you're going to take the yes side of it, I'm okay with it. Again, I think there was a better time. I'll talk about that in a minute. My general rule, though, on firing coaches, the fact that I had to, and I'm a Jet fan, I still had to Google who was behind him. If you have somebody competent on that bench behind you, because you know traditionally, right, you can get that free spark win when you bring up the next guy. Mm-hmm. The rest of the staff seems more incompetent than he was. I mean, they've been terrible the last couple weeks.
Savage.
So, I mean, with nobody necessarily behind him, and I'll talk about the timing in a couple minutes, I don't like how it was done. I especially don't like now that I hear that. But especially, you have so many primetime games this year. You had the England game. You're under the microscope all year. It was a perfect, someone's got to be the scapegoat season. And with buying talent, you weren't going to cut anybody. There was no one to scapegoat on the field. It pretty much had to be him, right? So I get it. I accept it. I think there were better ways to do it in a lot of ways.
Right.
Like the video. At
the end of the day, it's all on Woody Johnson right now because all the power moves that is happening, it's on him. He's trying to show that he's the head honcho, and when he's usually stay behind the scenes and let everybody else do their job, he has his fingerprints all on everything that's going on right now with the 2-5 Jets. So if it fails at the end of the season, it's on Woody Johnson. It always is. But I mean, I just think that he's just looking like a damn fool right now as far as the billionaire is concerned. I mean, not only with everything that he's doing with the organization, but just everything that you see on social media, you know, with the Woody iced out chain and everything. What billionaire in their right mind actually does that?
Jerry wants to.
Flavor Flav.
Jerry wants Flavor Flav. That's a savage. That's a savage.
And not to get political, but this is a guy who didn't even make the best vaccine. I'll just leave it at that. You can't even make the best anything.
Savage.
Not the vaccine. That's terrible. No, it's a Sexy Red was supposed to be the interim coach if Robert Saleh didn't work out. That's right. Mongo, you have a pipe bomb that's in your pocket.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit you with the rare double. I'm gonna hit you with the rare double small pipe bomb here.
Let it fly.
One of these is not a pipe bomb. It just pisses me off to no end. One of these is an actual pipe bomb. So we talk. You know, we always play the stupid win loss game, right? It's the dumbest thing any of us do.
Facts.
But we all make our predictions at the start of the season, and we have to try and root it in logic. And so when I was doing all my rounds with you, and when we were all together, and you know, on New Roads, I would always pick a number somewhere between 10 and 12. It was either 10 and 7 was their basement, 12 and 5 was their ceiling. And I kept changing because to me, the Minnesota game being in England was miserable. The schedule looked so nice at first. Then I saw where that was and said, uh-oh, that's a trap. That is an absolute trap. Now you come back and you play a division rival on a primetime game coming across the sea. That's a trap. This Pittsburgh game, I told you in the summer, circle it. It is the most important game by far.
For both our teams. For both our teams, Pittsburgh,
fair.
Which
that's
is the
fair.
irony. Yeah, go for
this
it.
Pittsburgh game should have been treated like their Super Bowl since before they showed up for, you know, optional minicamp. And that's the egg you lay in the second half of that game. This should have been, you should be able to run through walls with how excited you had to be for this game anyway, let alone on a losing streak. And in that second half, what they went punt, interception, missed field goal, turnover on downs. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh scored on every possession.
Yeah,
they got right. That interception literally hits them in the shoulder. I mean, they got straight up annihilated in what was the clutch time of the most important game of the year that any schmuck with a microphone in New Jersey could see from 4 months away. This wasn't hard to see how important this game was, and they just laid the ultimate egg. And here's the thing. Here's why that's such a big deal. When you obviously you love your stats, and obviously we all know you can cherry pick stats all you want. But on the offensive side of the ball, right, you are 8th in passing yards, you are 7th in passing touchdowns, you're 6th in interceptions. Aaron Rodgers, interceptions thrown. That's what you wanted. You wanted him gunslinging, right? He's the last of the old West Cowboy quarterbacks. Yeah. You're getting what you want. They have no running game, but they also, literally, they had a guy named Xavier, was it Nelson Moore, Williams, Wilson? It was some generic name, and even he got injured. Carter Warren's injured, Mitchell's injured. I'm over Elijah Vera Tucker. I can't believe in him anymore.
As soon as I saw him go back to the locker room,
I think we're just,
I'm done.
Yeah.
And then Greg Beleg.
I warned y'all about Zerline.
While you're going, you're still my second one in a second here.
I warned you.
But I mean, they have no run game, but that's at least mildly excusable. You're getting what you wanted out of Will McDonald, right? 8 sacks already.
Oh yeah, he's balling.
All those first rounders that you signed and had to take a risk on, right? Kinlaw is contributing 3rd most in tackles this season. Tack McKinley's actually playing. You didn't think he'd even make the team. You're getting what you want on the field, which means for more than you think, right? More than you'd expect from a 2-5 team, which means you got to start looking off the field, and you got to evaluate off the field, issues in the locker room, morale, the ability to get excited for a game that you must win. This team is broken because if the issue is off the field and the issue is an effort, and that's what you're going to put in on the Steeler game, I don't necessarily believe this team can win those, 50-50 games the rest of the way. And I don't know. I originally said, even when, after the Denver game, I said, look at the schedule. 9-10, still a lock. It's a soft schedule. Not if that's the effort.
Agreed.
And then I'm with you. You're down 8 points, right? The last 3 possessions for both sides in that game, the Jets had gone punt, interception, punt, and the Steelers had just dropped 17 points on 3 possessions right before that.
With Russ at quarterback?
With Russ at quarterback.
With Russ at quarterback?
You're in the red zone.
What?
At the 17-yard line. One, why are you even trying to kick that field goal? You have not stopped Pittsburgh in well over 15 minutes of game time. So even if you get it down to 5 points, what are we doing? It's going to go right back to at least 8 in a minute. Second of all, 5 days before this game, Greg Zuerlein says the Jets deserve to win. I'm not holding up my end of the bargain right now.
Why is he still on the roster?
He is broken. The man is morally dead. He has admitted he does not belong here. And still, with the game literally hanging in the balance, with a very manageable, touchdown at that point, that's where you've tried to win the last 2 games, right? With Aaron Rodgers right about at that spot. You're going to let the most shaken kicker on the planet kick a field goal that won't even do much for you? It made no sense. I don't like how they're being coached right now in the interim. I don't like the energy. This team is, we've been doing this for 2 years. I've never had I've never been completely out.
No,
I'm out on this team.
I'm
gone.
You're full Joe Badingo.
Full Badingo.
No. I warned you both about Greg Zuerlein. Tell me when I'm telling lies. I warned you guys both about Tyron Smith, because he's been a shell of himself too. A lot of those holding calls and those whiffs, just straight whiffs. And I also warned that I appreciate the fact that you guys are actually proactive in terms of roster building, but there's a difference between roster building and team building. I mentioned this on Under Review. And your owner is just as clueless as my owner in the fact that you need both to win a championship. Roster building is, you guys are knocking that out of the park. You're drafting, you're signing, you're trading, you're active, you're trying. There seems to be like a intentional plan toward putting together as many stars, as much good talent as possible. 2 thumbs up.
Right. And
but let me finish.
I'm sorry.
Team building. That's the coach. That's the culture, and that's the scheme. Your owner / GM, whoever he brings in, is no clue how to build a culture. And it's the same problem Jerry Jones had, because Jason Garrett ain't a culture guy, Wade Phillips ain't a culture guy, and Mike McCarthy was a culture guy back in 2010 when he was winning Super Bowls. Ain't a culture guy anymore. And Robert Saleh was supposed to be your culture guy. Joe Douglas was supposed to be hiring to bring in the scheme and the OC and the DC and again the culture and whatnot and the X's and O's. Where is it? Because that's why your team's broken. There's no culture. You can't win without a culture. Part of that is when you have Saleh saying, "I'm going to bring in Kinlaw, I'm going to bring in Solomon Thomas, I'm going to bring in my culture," and you have Aaron Rodgers saying, "I'm going to bring in Lazard, I'm going to bring in Hackett, I'm going to bring in my culture." Well, there's your problem. Tell me when I'm telling lies, damn it. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Robert Saleh's mantra was all gas, no brake. Little do we know that we were going to be stuck in neutral this whole time.
Yeah.
When Aaron didn't show up for involuntary,
right?
Any semblance of an off season, that let me know right there. That's the disconnect right there.
Yeah.
How is your most important player, the quote-unquote leader, because he wasn't a leader in Green Bay. He wasn't. All Aaron does is get coaches fired. Tell me when I'm telling lies. He got McCarthy fired. It's Mike's fault. Yeah, it's Mike's fault. His playbook is archaic. Oh, really? He got Robert Saleh fired. I don't really, we don't really jive. I don't like the cut of his jib or whatnot. Who's next? Is he even going to play next year? That's the other question.
Why would he after what he's experienced now? I mean, we're talking about with no culture. We kill quarterbacks. This is where quarterbacks go to die.
Tell me when I'm telling lies. Tell me when I'm telling lies. This is Rapid Fire. And this episode of Rapid Fire is brought to you by First Class Second Place Podcast, New Roads Media, and Bravery Studios, of course, the home base. Yes. So, we'll just pick. We're just gonna pick 5 games.
All right,
5 games to get through all of them.
I take the Bears at least 3 times.
They're all 1:00 games. Don't worry. The first game, right off the bat, Jets Patriots.
Well, like what you were saying with the Steelers, I feel like this also be a trap game. But you know what? We should be able to win this game. I don't feel 100% confident, but we need to punch somebody in the mouth. I'm going to pick the Jets. begrudgingly, I'm going to pick the Jets in this game.
The Patriots are 1-6. I'm going.
I understand
you guys, but you guys are 2-5.
I understand that. The Jets are always known to lose games that they shouldn't lose. So, and it's in Foxborough.
It's a 1:00 game too. I'm gonna go with Jets.
I know
I'm
we're in
Jets.
Rushmore, but I do just need to clarify real quick. Zerline 8 for 13 this season. Who's ever kicking for the Cardinals 12 for 13, and they have a 1-point win over San Francisco and a 2-point win over the Chargers. If we had literally just pulled a kicker off the street, there's a chance we'd be closer to 4-3.
Ray Finkel would be a better kicker.
Would be fine
right now.
Anybody
right now.
Anybody. Anyway, give me the Jets. But if I'm the Patriots, my bulletin board material revolves around the fact that this will actually end the Jets. The Jets might just fold their season if they lose this game. You got to take the Jets.
I love it. I just want to do really good games.
Panthers. I take the Panthers.
No one.
God, I was so wrong.
It's too funny that was actually a 1:00 game. Let's go Giants Steelers.
That's the good game? Everybody go out and garden this week.
I'm trolling.
This is the apple picking weekend.
I'm gonna troll with another question. Where is it being played?
It's in Pittsburgh, of course. Steelers by 20. I had to troll.
Saquon Barkley's still running.
He's still running. Is it a sweep? We're going Steelers?
Yeah, this is Steelers.
Eagles. This sad music, you're killing me. Eagles Bengals in Cincinnati. I will never pick the Eagles on this show. I don't think I'm allowed to. So give me Joe Burrow.
I'm gonna take Joe Burrow over Kellen Moore.
That's a savage. I like that. I like you like that.
Savage.
This is the battle of the broken teams.
Savage. Keep him coming, Steve. Load him up.
I think the real story here.
It's definitely a no for me, though.
This is the true test of these rookie, because I think Quinion Mitchell has a real shot at defensive rookie of the year. I think this is a real test for them. It's going to be fun to watch as a football fan to see what happens. But I'll take the Bengals here as well.
Oh yeah. Let's do a couple more. How about Bills Seahawks in Seattle? And that's in a late. I think that's America's game of the week, if I'm not mistaken.
Interesting game. You know what?
My chest hurts.
You know what? I feel like the Bills bringing in Amari Cooper gave the spark what the Jets were looking for. That kind of spark. Instead, we just got a barely of a flicker. I think that Amari Cooper is going to fill the seat that Stephon Diggs left. And I think that this is actually going to be an interesting game. It's going to be loud as usual, but I think that Josh Allen is, I think he has something to prove right now. So I'm actually going to take the Bills.
I've watched about 2 or 3 Seahawk games this year, and Jet Geno is back. He's back.
Yeah.
Jet Geno's back. I thought that Seattle's Geno. I thought that was the thing. I'm like, has he turned a corner? No, he hasn't. He's back. So give me the Bills.
I think people don't give credit for how injured Seattle was in the first couple weeks.
Yeah, and they're coming off their bye too.
And I think, the volume in that stadium is going to have to play a factor when your best wide receiver has only been trying to mesh with the offense for 2 weeks. You could see some, some false starts out there and things like that. It's going to be an ugly game. I think, I think Kenneth Walker's going to be the difference in being able to control an ugly game like that. I'll take Seattle.
Okay. Two more. Mongo's favorite team, Falcons at Bucks. Since the Bucks are going to roll out Julio Jones, Torrey Holt, and Oz Hakeem and Marvin Harrison Sr. at wide receiver, because all the receivers are hurt right now, give me the Falcons. They're the healthier team. No Godwin and no Mike Evans for God knows how long. I think Evans is going to be out for a while, and Godwin's out for the year.
Godwin's out for the year.
Yeah,
that was a brutal injury.
That was brutal. Give me Falcons.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Falcons too. I mean, they just they're on a streak right now, and Kirk Cousins, he's starting to he's getting the engine going now.
Kirk O'Baines.
You missed a chance to say for Godwin knows how long there. I need to.
He's hurt. I can't do it. I can't do it. I got limits.
If you go back and watch the Joe Beningo episode, there it is. If you go back and watch the Joe Beningo episode, my favorite part of that episode, other than when he said, Mongo was right about this, and I made that my ringtone. I said to him, Joe, I got a secret. I just take the Falcons every single week and accept the fact that I'll win exactly half the time. And he found that to be believable logic. Yeah. So I'll stick to it. I'll take the Falcons, baby.
Tell me when I'm telling lies. And last but not least, to bring it on home, Cowboys, 49ers, Sunday Night Football. I'll be coming from a Wizards game, I believe, so I'll be watching on my phone. I'm going to get this out the way. The Dallas Cowboys have to be. They're missing 2 Avengers. All right, they're missing 2 Avengers.
This is Infinity War right now.
Like literally. Ayuk is out for the year. McCaffrey can't walk. Debo was in ICU a couple days ago. He's gonna play and have his best game of the year. I already know that. I've accepted that. Come on, it's Kittle. Like if you double team Kittle all game, you'll probably win the game. The Cowboys have to win this game.
Right.
Coming off their bye, you have to win this game.
I'm going to pick the Cowboys also, and also that 49ers defense is not the old defense.
No.
It looks like a sieve right now.
That offense isn't the same.
No.
They've looked bad. They're like next to last in the league in yak, which is something they've led forever. The yak boys are gone. They're gone. And their red zone defense is bottom of the barrel, just like Cowboys are. This is a Spider-Man meme game. You have 2 battered teams right now. Who's going to win?
First, you said Sunday night?
Sunday Night Football.
So this got flexed in?
This was always there.
Oh, I thought the Eagles got flexed out. I guess that was later on in the year.
The league wants to flex this out, but there's no freaking way.
I mean, they get the rating, so I get it. We talked in the summer about how the 49ers had one of the most brutal schedules of all time this year.
Yes, we did. Tell me what I'm lies. Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
So schedule plus injuries is plus Brock Purdy. Those are 3 strikes against any team. So I'm going to take the Cowboys here. I'm too afraid of how much trouble the Niners had with the Cardinals. I mean, they're not invincible right now. I mean, that's all there is.
That's a savage. Round of applause, round of applause, round of applause, round of applause. Fellas, this was episode 55.
Woo, double nickels.
This was a movie. Oh, my God. Your camera real quick. Jason Enrique, where can people find you?
This camera, that camera. Anyway.
The one that's lit up. The ones that's lit up.
Yeah, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can find me at I am Jason Enrique on all social media platforms. Don't forget to like, subscribe on YouTube at Jason Enrique. New episodes of First Class, Second Place, now available. Just had Rashid Chappelle on my show recently. Shout out to Rashid Chappelle. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's run the numbers up. Tell me when I'm telling lies. Sorry for taking your slogan.
It's all good.
Yes,
all good.
indeed.
It's not even mine. It's CM Punk's. Mongo, real quick.
I'm on X, Mongo715. I promise him the next time I'm drunk, I'll make an Instagram.
Hey.
And in the meantime, New Roads Media, just getting started, this summer. But basketball content for the season, baseball content for the World Series, out right now. Check it out.
And I'll bring it home. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. U-Goboy Media on everything. U-Goboy 88 on everything. 2 channels. U-Goboy 88. That's all the music. U-Goboy Media. That's all the podcasts. And we're going to bring it home just like this. That's the belt. Cody Rhodes has that. That's the other belt. Ric Flair's had that a billion times. Hogan, he's a racist, but he had that one too. Macho Man's had that one. And NWO 2000 Brett had that one too. That's Mongo. He's got a beard. That's Jason Enrique. He's got the best hair in podcasting. Steve's got a beard too. I'm U-Goboy. We love you. Trust me, we'll be back. Go Yankees! Yahtzee.
Whoa. Hey, this a vibe, nigga, whoa. Woo. Secure the bag, I need more. Hey, 3P, Jordan, whoa. Woo. I can't keep it on a low. This a whole vibe. I don't need a plug, no cosign. Thinking out loud, that's a gold mine. Mask on, yeah, COVID-19. Baby mama, yeah, looking like Rihanna. Rest in peace to George, rest in peace Brianna. Still kicking like Van Damme with my niggas in Amsterdam.
You go, boy.
Yahtzee.